We are gonna give just a few minutes for people to sign in. This is the first test of being able to go live and stay connected up here. It's pretty remote. There are many mountains, and so we've been trying to figure out how to get connected. There's no cell signal up here at all. This is Chaos. He's one of our tour guides today. Also, Maya. So originally we were going to keep this just for the Patreons, but I want you guys to see the house and understand the magnitude of this property and what it takes to actually maintain it. I'm gonna do a walk around and see how the connection is. Please comment and let me know. One, comment to say hi, and two, let me know if it's clear, if you can see it, how we're doing. I'm gonna turn the camera around so that you can see the house and just how big it is. So the house was originally called Silverside. It was built in the very late 1800s and finished in the early 1900s. It is almost 9,000 square feet if you count the basement. And she is just colossal. She really is. She has several cottages and outbuildings. And that's Tara you hear. So we have the barn up that way, which is turned into an art studio. The smaller one over here used to actually be a like a mechanic's garage where you could like go down about 5 feet and back the cars up over top. So inside it's just like this brick arch. So we're looking at the possibility of making that a metalsmithing, blacksmithing and glassblowing studio. Let me see, I can't even get the whole house in the shot. That's how big it is. There are gardens everywhere. There are also secret gardens. So if you walk back down the way that we just came up, you can kind of see a drop off here. And these are stairs that go down, and there are stone walls that close in. Maya's out roaming. We're up in the mountains, so there are just monumental stones on the property too, just boulders. I'm gonna actually take a walk over to the pond. Please comment, let me know if it's coming in clearly, if you guys are seeing it, if you can hear me clearly. I'm kind of testing too so that I can rewatch later and see where my blind spots are, where I can't be when I'm doing lives. So we just got this filled the other day. I'm working. And then this little building up here is actually like a dollhouse, like a playhouse. That one you can see the roof is tarped, it's kind of caving in. And we're thinking some kind of like potter's shed for that. Maya is living her best doggy life out here. Come on, Maya. Come on. So you can see the house is it's just enormous. Like, it really is. And the grounds are enormous. and the animals are living their best life here, and they would love you to come visit. You can come stay here. The gardens are gorgeous. We have tons and tons of butterflies and little bumblebees. And cats wreaking havoc in my little piece. Look at this. Isn't that darling? So yeah, lots and lots of pollinators. This is Tara. No, I would love some of you guys to comment. I think I'm supposed to be seeing comments come up along the bottom. All right, are you ready to go in? So there are double doors to the entryway. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 entrances into the house in different parts. Come on, Maya. Waiting on the dog. Okay, I see red flag. Thank you. Come on. All right, so feel free to ask any questions. This is in Pennsylvania. It's in the Allegheny Mountains, in the town of Kane, and this was the original Kane, one of their original family homes. So Kane, Pennsylvania is named after the Kane family. They built this house. And so now it is part of Elysian Sanctuary, which is a 501c3 nonprofit. And so basically what happens is if you want to come and stay, then your stay donates a night to an artist in residence. So we get postcards from all over the world and letters and artwork. And for every night that you come stay, you get a card. And you take these cards and you put them with postcards that are sent in from our artists. And so every night you're here sponsors a night for an artist, a musician, or a writer to come stay for free. So that's how the premise works. We've done 33 free nights for creatives so far. So we're in the main part of the house now. There's a grand staircase that goes upstairs. I am gonna try to go slowly and give the Wi-Fi a chance to like jump to different parts of the house while we're in different wings. So bear with me and definitely drop me a comment if it's getting pixelated or it's timing out, because I would love you to be able to see all of this. So I'm gonna try to go slow, but I'm also super excited. So this is the entry room. As far as we know, original to the house. And because it's an old Victorian, it's got all of these beautiful built-ins and all this great trim, molding, and wainscoting all the way through. This is the music room with another fireplace. All of the fireplaces were converted to gas sometime, I think, in the 50s, maybe 60s. And so if you've ever seen The Greatest Showman, this is a portrait of the actual Jenny Lind. And she was brought over by Jonathan Kane, who is the great-grandfather of the man who built the house. So Jonathan Kane was in Philadelphia. He was a judge, and he brought music to Philadelphia and brought some of the greatest singers and performers and composers of the time to do concerts, and basically founded the first Philadelphia Music Association. And so when Jenny Lind came over with P.T. Barnum, he sponsored several of her shows that were in Philadelphia and the surrounding areas. And rumor has it that one of his sons was kind of sweet on her. So that's an original lithograph of her from her time when she was in the area. So it moves into the great room. That movie was narratively incoherent. They took a lot of artistic liberties with it. Jenny Lynn was never actually romantically involved with P.T. Barnum. However, we can appreciate it for what it was. But she did exist, and she was supposed to have the most beautiful voice ever. Now, this was originally like a tea room, and so there were kitchen gardens right out the side. And so everything on this side still is all herbs and medicinals and different tea leaves. Now we kind of have it as a guest kitchen when people come to stay. It's like their little nook for coffee. They can store anything they want in the fridge. I'll take you in here in a minute. This is the walk-in safe. So originally this was walled off and there was a window here, and this was the porch that got changed in, I believe, the 70s, 80s, when it was first sold outside the family. These are the grounds in the backyard. There's all kinds of pathways. There isn't a movie about this house. However, Jonathan Cain had two sons, Thomas Cain, who founded the town of Cain, and Elijah Cain, who was a famous Arctic explorer. So if you look up Margaret Fox, she and her sisters were considered the first spiritual mediums in America. Elijah Cain was sweet on her. The family didn't approve because they thought that it was satanic to talk to spirits and ghosts, so they eloped in secret. And then he died shortly after one of his expeditions. And the family basically wouldn't give her any widow rights. So she published all of the love letters between her and him to prove the legitimacy of her marriage. And eventually, when she died, she was allowed to put Cain on the tombstone. This is probably one of the neatest parts. So this is the safe door. And it's just crazy to think about how much detail and how much craftsmanship went into everything back then. Look at all the trim detail on this. And the paintings. So General Thomas Cain built the Kinsua Viaduct and Bridge, which was a train track, and it was considered the eighth wonder of the world. And then he founded the town, and he built a house that looked exactly like this one called Cain Summit, and then it burned down in a fire. And his son, Elijah, built this house at 90% scale. So it's actually smaller than the original. But these are actually all of the ledgers, documents, and deeds for every single parcel of land in the entire county. And those are all old scrolls of the maps. As they were creating the town and drawing up the different towns and borders. So because there was no internet and there was only one set of paper records, the entire room is like this metal barricade. It's basically a bank vault to keep track of all of the files. And it's wild because they were very in support of Prohibition. So they had it as a dry town. So it's actually in the deeds of the houses, like as the acreage was bought, that they could repossess the house if they found alcohol on the property. Like it's in the deeds and they're all handwritten. I would love one of you guys to comment and tell me if the video stays clear when I walk in there, because it's basically a giant metal box. And I would love to show you some more things in there, but I don't know if you're actually getting the transmission from it. So maybe we'll come back to that. We're really just kind of testing the waters right now. For, oh, why aren't you close? Oh. Hi, Lark. No ball in the house. No ball in the house. So this is the formal dining room. And this is Maya. There is a little courtyard out back that we haven't figured out what to do with. And originally you can kind of see, so see this like seam up the siding? There was originally a door in the kitchen that came out to the courtyard so that you could have meals outside. And then when it was redone by the new owners who bought it early 70s, they decided to really renovate everything. It was really to the point that it needed to be jacked up like basically 2 feet on the back of the house in order to stabilize it. And it had fallen into such disrepair that it needed a ton of structural support, or else it was basically going to fall apart and be condemned. So they put a ton of money into it. This family named the Birches bought it. And they used it as their home. And then she turned it into a, sorry, I love this. How cute is this? So she turned it into a bed and breakfast for like a year and a half, 2 years, and then her husband got cancer and they decided to sell it. So they put in a commercial kitchen. This is usually where the Wi-Fi has to jump to the other side of the house. So keep kind of checking in. Let me know if you're having trouble seeing. So we have a huge, oh my God, I love this stove. So lots of room for cooking. And then this actually is like, it's great as a prep area, but it actually opens up and becomes basically like a hibachi grill. The house used to be called Silverside, and Elijah Kincaid named it Silverside for his wife Zella, who he said was the silver side of every storm cloud in his life, basically the silver lining, which is so cute and romantic. I love that. So yeah, kitchen, which is kind of still the catch-all, is probably the messiest part of the house, because this is where everything's kind of coming into and getting unpacked still. The cabinets are all real wood. They're so heavy. And so originally this would have been kind of a still room. And while we were moving, all right, hang on, and let me see if I can switch to the right Wi-Fi, because is it breaking up really bad for you guys? I want you to see this so bad. So this would have been like basically a cold room, and it's all stone, which is why we just redid the pantry. It's new things that we've started redoing, but all of the we're lagging. I'm sorry. I'm trying to fix it. So the first 2 weeks that I was here, there was nothing. There was no Wi-Fi. There was no cell signal. I didn't have my dog up here. And it's an old house, so of course it's making creepy noises and lights are turning themselves on and off. And I had no way to connect with the outside world at all. So that was the only time that I was like slightly uncomfortable here. Here's my cat. The views are incredible. So this is like morning on the terrace kind of thing. Hello. Would you like to join? So you can come out here in the morning and have breakfast. And then there's a little pathway that goes up this way and into the woods, and you can go all the way up the mountain. I lied, there's not 4, there's 5 entries into the house. So back when it was originally like a house for the wealthy and for the Kame family, the staff would have came in through the kitchen. Come on, Bud. So they would have came in here because they wouldn't have been in the main parts of the house. And this would have let them come in and do all the preparation for food. The room that is the pantry now would have been what they call a still room. And that's where they would have like prepared all of like the cakes and pies and teas, and they would have did cold storage as well. This room right off of the kitchen is a butler's office or butler's kitchen. So this would have been where the butler stayed, where he ran everything for the whole house and was able to meet with people. There is actually a door. It's currently blocked off on the other side of the living room by like a giant secretary desk right now, but that would connect to the living room. I ran into one of the neighbors whose mother was the secretary for Elijah Kincaid, and she came through. She hadn't been here since she was 16. She's in her 70s now. And so right where the fridge is, there used to be a staircase that went into the basement. Now the only way to access it is from outside. So it's nice that it's got all this history and that some of the people are still local. I've been meeting some of the descendants and family members. And so I'm getting more and more of the history as we go. So, up the stairs. Originally, there was an elevator here, and it went all the way up the tower to the 3rd floor. So you can guess the kind of wealth that they had, that they built it in the late 1800s, early 1900s, and were able to install an elevator at that time. When the new owners, the Birches, purchased it, she decided to take the elevator out and make it a landing here. And when we first moved in, I absolutely hated this dog painting, and my son loves it. And we were arguing about whether it stayed or go. And it turned out that these are Mrs. Birch's prize show dogs. They were the love of her life. And for a little bit of humor, this is probably a 40 by 60 painting that she had custom done. But she also had the same artist do a portrait of her husband, and that is about 11 by 14 and shoved down in the basement. So you understand the hierarchy of who was important to her. So I don't think I can get rid of it now. I'm pretty sure if I do, I get haunted. There is another set of stairs. This would have been the servants' staircase because they would have been on the 3rd floor, so they could come right up from the kitchen and go right around to continue going up without basically being in any parts of the main house when they weren't cleaning. This is the master's suite. And so it opens up. This originally was basically like a giant closet, dressing room kind of thing. And this was a closet for clothes. It got redone sometime in the 70s to make a shower, which is nice because as much as I love all of the clawfoot tubs, it is nice to have the convenience of a modern shower. So you have both in here. I love the tile. I love the gold. It's so fabulously gaudy. I love the high pool for the toilet flush. And then you can actually access this one. So this is kind of like the private bathroom for the main suite. They can close and lock it off, but they can also leave it open to the hall so that everyone has access to it if needed. This is another king suite that we have. And I love the 4-poster bed. Everything is so big, it's hard to get in frame. But I love the furnishings in this one. So originally these walls were like Pepto-Bismol pink, and the caretakers in the 90s, actually, when they redid it, they were able to take a piece of the wallpaper off and frame this painting. So imagine this matting here. Imagine this entire room being in that. Your vibe as well. Virginia, please feel free to connect with me on social media and send me pictures. I would love to see that. So this one just has the soaking tub, but it's a fabulous bathroom. I love it. And so fabulously girly. This is probably the most feminine suite. And so we'll go through this way. So this room connects to both the east and the west wing, which is nice. And I'll start you on the far side. So this is our balcony suite. How is the connection? Am I lagging at all, or to still see everything well? So this wallpaper is at least 60 years old. At this, well, now it's the 20s, so yeah, this one basically. All right. How are we now? I have to the house is so big in the way that it's set up. You kind of have to keep jumping between the two. So we're out on the balcony suite right now. Let me know if you can see. So we have the fountain and the swing set, which I love, and then a nice big yard. And then this little brick building is basically a dollhouse. So there's little Victorian furniture in that for maybe 2 to 3 years old. And then there's pathways that go up. And if we take a walk over, you can kind of see the outline of a little building behind that. That one's got the roof tarped. There's trees going through it. We're not sure what we're gonna do with it, but I love the rustic feel of it and I don't wanna get rid of it. But I mean, imagine just coming out and having your coffee in the morning and just sitting and rocking, and this being your view. The wallpaper is so rich, but this is probably the darkest room, even with all of the lights on. But it's got that kind of moody Victorian masculine feel. This is the swan bathroom. My favorite is the fixture. Look at this. Isn't that fun? And everything is just so ornate. And you have little pieces of furniture in all of the bathrooms. The bathrooms are basically designed as living spaces. So coming from the upstairs, this wall out here, that line used to be the doorway from the kitchen, which was right where the stove is now. And it would come out to this little courtyard. So now we're on the west wing of the house. And then we have this little maid's built in. And this is where they would keep all of the linens and the cleaning supplies and everything. Everything is built in. I love that fixture too. This is helpful with you guys commenting because I can tell how far ahead I am compared to what you guys are seeing. So this is, it reminds me of like a Jane Austen novel. This is also the room that lamp in particular turns itself on and off all the time, which was freaking me out the first few weeks I was here. So it's not like an easy thing either. Like you have to turn it. And it turns itself on all the time. So the only neighbors that I have can see from the like mid-second floor up over the tree line, and they ask me all the time if I'm home when I'm not, because they see the lights going on and off. And then we have another little balcony. Yeah, so we actually, this is so fun. So we actually have this Native American group coming today, like in like 2 hours. And they don't like the term ghost hunters, but that's basically what they are. So spiritual mediums connecting to the spirits and the ghosts. So they are coming and spending the night tonight to talk to the spirits that are here, which I definitely believe that there are. And it's really fun because my husband is very not a believer. And so I'm like, but the lights are turning themselves on and off. You don't understand. And he's like, right, because it's got to be ghosts. Can't be the 100-year-old wiring, which is not. It was updated in the 90s. But there are some things like doors opening themselves and things moving around that he can't explain. So this room seems to be the one that like kind of creeps people out. It's the most simple room and it's very bright and modernized. This one was done in the 90s, but it's also got these super creepy like doll portraits. Take a look at these. Would that freak you out if you were staying here? Or do you think they're sweet? I've never seen like porcelain dolls like made into a portrait. So you can come visit, and if you come visit, then you actually get to donate nights to artists. Or if you are an artist, a writer, a musician, you can send us a postcard telling us about what you want to work on, and we leave it in our register below, and then people donate nights to your stay. So far we've been here 9 months, and we've already racked up a month of free stays for creatives. So long hallways everywhere. And so it's kind of strange to have like the center room. And when we were talking to certain people and doing research, it's very likely that there were banisters on both sides, at least in the original house that this was modeled after, and that this was actually like a mezzanine. And so this room wouldn't be here. You would just be able to look down into the ballroom. And then they decided to maximize the space on the second floor instead. Okay, so to get our bearings, girly room, amazing soaking tub bath, master suite, staff stairs down to the kitchen. So we're back on the east side now, and there are still more bedrooms. So originally this was a bedroom. It was made over into just a laundry room. Another little balcony out to the back. Show the tub. Yeah, why not? Okay. Because every bathroom that's truly luxurious should have an armchair in it. Look at that. This is my favorite soaking tub. I love the swoop of the back. It's so comfortable to be in. And it has been slightly modernized. So we do have like a little gas heater. So like in the winter when it's snowing outside, you turn that on and it like heats up the edge of the tub and just keeps like the water warm, and it is just divine. All right, I'm gonna pause for a second because I'm back on the east side, and I'm gonna switch the Wi-Fi over to the east wing because I'm gonna take you. Stairs that go down to the barn and the caretaker cottage. And then we have our last bathroom on the second floor. This one's a little more simple. Still has like the decorative benches and the dressers and things in. And I mean, like, even in the bathroom, like even going to the bathroom in the morning, like, how nice is your view here? And then this connects to the last bedroom on the second floor. And it's a very busy wallpaper, but it's pretty. So they're little florals. And my favorite part is that they went as far as to actually wallpaper the coat rack. And then this one as well. Just like, you can't have a bad room here. Every room has a view to some extent. And most of them, because of the way that the house is set up, have like several views at the same time. But wait, there's more. So we saw the west wing, we saw the east wing of the second floor. We went through the music room, went through the ballroom and the kitchen. There's a whole nother floor. Yep. You didn't think there was that much more up here, did you? I definitely didn't when I first came through. So we have this little like side room that originally accessed the chimney. So they finished it, but if you open it, you can see the whole chimney. I know, I love it. It's so pretty. And we have 2 full bathrooms on the 3rd floor as well. They're tiny, and look, like even it's tiled all the way up to the ceiling. There's these little like built-in shelves that recess into the wall. It's so adorable. And then this is kind of like, I don't know, like a common room or just an open space. So I do a lot of my writing up here. There's a lot of my art projects and things up here, different design pieces that I've done. This is one of my favorites. This is stained glass corset, and I just think this is such a neat piece. Has nothing to do with the mansion, aside from the fact that part of the reason I bought the mansion was because I have too much art and I needed a bigger space to hold it all. Jury's out on this one. I think it's adorable. Some people think it's really creepy. So this is the kids' room, the children's suite. And for me, look at the bear. It reminds me of like the Darling suite in Peter Pan. Like, how cute is this? This room I come and sit in when like my grandmom biological clock is ticking, which I'm hitting snooze on for like at least another like 5 to 10 years. But can you imagine like being a grandmom and having like your little grandbabies in this room playing? I freaking love it. And there's some of this, like almost everything was left here when I bought it. It came fully furnished. So that works. We plugged it in. I'm not brave enough to try it. But we hear that it was original to the Canes, and they would use that to dry their hair. There's built-in bookcases on both sides just filled with children's books. And I just think this room is adorable. But some people think it's like creepy, I don't know, like horror movie. So originally with houses like this would have been where the staff stayed and also probably where the children are. So it's likely that that room and also this room would have been for children because it leads in from the other room. So Nanny would have been here. That way she could chase him back in and the kids couldn't get out without having to like have a buffer. I call these suites the Pride and Prejudice suite because it just has that like Victorian Jane Austen kind of feel. You really do. You also have to really appreciate things like this in order to want to clean it all. But I love like it's basically a so all and this is the smallest full bathroom I think I've ever seen. But like, look at how cute it is. I'm not sure that I'm on board with carpeting in the bathrooms. That might be something that gets changed. Now, originally this staircase went all the way up to the roof and there was access to get up to the Widow's Peak. And then in the 70s, they put a metal roof on and closed it off. And part of me is bummed about that because I want to be able to go up and be on the roof. And the other part of me is happy because I have teenage kids that I don't want on the roof. This is by far my favorite suite. Comes with your own dressing mirrors, which is fabulous. I love the little window benches. I love the built-in shelves. And so originally this is the tower and this would have held all of the mechanics for the elevator. But now it's like this beautiful bedroom in the tower and it just has the most gorgeous views and there's the built-in benches. And so you come and you sleep and you're 3 stories up at the top of the mountain. And when you wake up, this is your view. And when it's clear at night, you have all of the stars. A couple of months ago, the Aurora Borealis was visible. It's gorgeous when it snows. It's incredible in the autumn. Yeah. The dress form. Which one are we looking at? This one? So this is actually like one of the ones that you see in like a Target or a Walmart, like showcasing the clothes. And we basically cut it out and hollowed it. It's work in progress. It's not done yet. But the idea is to like turn it into like a girly little like jewelry or makeup kind of thing. Put pretty little apothecary bottles and stuff on it and turn it into like this really bougie dress. I have a thing for mannequins. I have like 40 of them out in the barn. I have a problem. Do you guys want to see my favorite part? So the thing that really got me is that at the time, books were so expensive to print because they actually had the printing press. So somebody was putting all of the letters together and they were doing the pages one at a time and then putting the next page together. It was super expensive, super laborious process. And so books were kind of a currency because literacy was also something that only the wealthy really had. There wasn't really like good formal education going on at that point unless you had money and your family had money. This is a picture, they think, from maybe the 60s. I'm really thinking about going back to those colors. It's a little bit of a lighter blue right now, but I kind of love that gray. I also keep seeing yellow. However, so you see old houses and you go on Instagram and you see hidden libraries where there's a door and it opens up into a room, right? Which I love. This is one of the original paintings from Elijah Kane, E. Kent Kane. But because books were such a expensive commodity to have, libraries were usually in offices because they wanted to protect the books. And so they would be hidden. So this entire room is a hidden library. All the way up. And it's summer right now, so some of them stick. We have found books all the way back to the 1800s in here. There are little cabinets. And some of the walls, like this whole section, opens out on a hinge like a door. These 3 sections behind the couch open up like a garage door. So this entire center room is a hidden library. How fucking cool is that? I love that. That makes me so excited. Okay, so that's pretty much the tour of the house. There is the super creepy basement that really isn't that creepy, actually. It's got very tall ceilings. It's all stone and brick, and it kind of looks like a 1920s speakeasy, which is totally what I want to do with it. Is there anything else that you guys wanted more info on or wanted to be able to see? Hop eyes again. Questions, concerns? Okay, so Silverside is now Reliquarian House. You can Google it. You can come and stay here at any point. It's on Airbnb. I will keep you up to date. I think they are going live on their page, which I actually can't remember the name of off the top of my head. But as far as I know, there are 11 people from the tribe coming, or from their group. I know the people that lead it are Native American. And so they're going to try to connect in with whatever spirits are here in the forest on the grounds and whatever is here in the house. So this, as you can see, cuts out like a fireplace, and we just love all of the little built-ins. This is actually a double-sided fireplace. So they closed it off when they remodeled in the 70s, but you can kind of see the outline underneath. It opens up to both sides. So I'm dying to open that back up. And I'm dying to show you some more of the safe, because I just think this is so neat. And so part of what we want to do is invite you guys in so you can join our Patreon at patreon.com/Jessica Lark. And you can see more of the things we're finding, like the actual telegrams from the family in 1943, written from his daughter to him. Him running for election in 1934. So this is the original owner. This is him when he was older. We have, it's just so much. We have this super creepy one. And then we found this in one of the boxes, and it's actually his pocket journal from when he was over at war. And it talks about Pearl Harbor, and it's got a bunch of blank pages actually, but it's got notes from different things and like little drawings. And hear you whisper in the night, everything will be all right. Like, just hanging out. Just why not? And these don't even look real, do they? They look like props for a show, but these are the actual ledgers. Old letters, all of the deeds for every piece of property. It's wild. And then all of these are old scrolls of like the maps for the town while they were actually like mapping it out. Isn't that wild? So it costs $1 bajillion to keep this place and run this place and repair this place. We have a nest of honeybees that are in the wall and have been here for about 30 years. The apiary believes that we're looking at probably about 50,000 bees. And so we're trying to figure out what to do with them right now. They don't get into the house yet, but we're actually looking at whether or not we can do like some kind of like glass wall, like maybe like an acrylic, so that you could see the bees in the hive, but we can have access to like clean out so that it's not damaging any of the structure of the house. And then a few days ago, we figured out that we also have bats, and they are all the way up towards the tower, so it's like impossible to get to. And we counted about 42 of them flying out of their little corner upstairs. So we're trying to figure out like, so I'm learning all of this new stuff about animals too. We have to actually go up and seal basically the entire house to make sure that they don't have another way in, and then we can relocate them to bat houses around the property. And then there's always like the natural assortment of mice. Tara and Chaos do their job very well and go back and forth and catch a lot of the rodents, so they're out prowling around during the day. The entire house needs to be repainted. They got a message or a quote for that, and it was $100,000 to have the house repainted because of how tall it is, which is just mind-blowing. But even if we grabbed a bunch of volunteers and got some of the companies to donate into the nonprofit, we still have to get scaffolding and bucket trucks. And the problem with having like cherry pickers or bucket trucks is that the ground is very uneven. There's a lot of hills. So finding a place that we can safely, one, locate the bucket truck, two, and get it over to there, and two, have it sit flat so that we can lift someone up is like a whole thing that we haven't figured out how to like navigate right now. So we're doing that. There's a lot of like little repairs and things. We've spent several $1,000s already on gas leaks that were in the house, and like there's a word for it that I can't think of. I think it's like phantasma or something, phanta something. It's basically like phantom smells. So like when your brain gets paranoid about a smell or has a strong emotional connection, it can be a positive connection too. You will smell things that aren't actually there to smell. Like your brain will trick you, kind of like having like people can feel limbs that they've had amputated. It's the same kind of thing. So we did have a couple of gas leaks that we had to get fixed, and now I'm constantly just walking around like because I'm so worried about it because I've always had electric heat. And so this is the first time, and like all I can, like my mom brain like thinks like I'm gonna blow up. So so we've had several $1,000s of updating done on some of the old piping. We do have the fountain, and then I wish I could take you over there, but I'm almost sure that it won't let me. I'll have to do a video and just upload it later, but we have a pond in the back that is just full of little salamanders and frogs, and it opens up, and we're looking at turning it into a swimming pond. Like a natural swimming pond with like the right kind of plants that can clean out the water, and you would be able to like go in and go swimming like in the natural pond. And there's this huge stone that sits up like 7-8 feet, and we're looking at like doing like a natural slide into the pond, which sounds so fun but also so expensive. So if you want to support, the best way to do that is to go to Patreon. You can go to patreon.com/Jessica Lark. You can subscribe for like $3 a month, like half a cup of coffee at Starbucks, maybe a third a cup these days with inflation. And that will get you access to everything that we're doing. It also puts you on the creative team for the house. So it's a lot to keep figuring out what to do with everything. So usually what we do in Patreon is I will talk about the projects that I want to do, and you guys basically help build the house. So we're at the place that it's in really good shape. It's been so lovingly taken care of, but it's just at the point that it needs updating because the things are old. You know, the wallpaper's 80 years old. The trim is starting to come apart. The nails are starting to come loose. You know, the carpeting is beautiful, but very worn. So while we're doing the updating, it's kind of a collaborative, creative family that is coming in and going, this is what I want to do. So what color are we painting the music room? And what is going in here? And what is staying? And what is going? And how about the bedroom redos? What kind of themes do we want to do? And do we want to do the pond, or do we want to go down into the tiered gardens that are all stone and build a secret garden first? So you guys get to basically pick the order in which we do things and where we put the money, and kind of bring it to life on your own. And then you guys can come and stay here like whenever you want, and it's kind of your home too. So it's super fun. If you can't subscribe even at $3 to $5 a month, then the next best thing that you can do is go to YouTube and click subscribe. Maya Lark, you are not supposed to be on that chair without the blanket on there. Don't wag your tail all cute. That doesn't excuse it. You know better. She's real worried about it. So go to YouTube. You can also connect with Reliquarian House directly on Facebook and Instagram. The nonprofit for the artists and the writers is Elysian Sanctuary. You can Google that. We're on social media everywhere with that as well. And then if you want to connect in with me and the artwork and the things that we're doing, that's under Jessica Lark. So thank you for taking the tour. We've been on for like an hour. Virginia, I am so excited you stayed the whole time. Please, let's connect. Come find me somewhere. Let's be friends. We are definitely kindred spirits. Thank you for hanging out with me. That was super fun. And we'll see you soon and go from there.